Greetings and welcome back to Big Bacon's Collection. I'm your host, Big Bacon. Today we have something special on the books. That's right, we actually have a G.I. Joe Classified Convention exclusive. If I remember correctly, the Serpentor was PulseCon, which meant this was Comic-Con? SDCC? Well, regardless, I did not receive this from SDCC. I did not receive this from Hasbro Pulse. I actually got this in a charity auction held by Duke's Warriors. You can find them on Facebook. And what they are is they are a fundraising organization for Canines for Warriors. So, unfortunately, the turnout was not very good for that auction that this was in. I actually managed to get this for pretty close to what it sold for retail-wise. And I wouldn't have minded paying more given that it was part of a charity auction, but, it is what it is. So, without any further ado, we're going to look at the packaging, we're going to open it up, take a look inside, bust the figure out, check the accessories, check him out, gear him up, and get him on the shelf. And we're going to see, I'm quite certain he does, but we're going to see if he's got the same issue that a lot of these had. So packaging-wise, what we have is a box with a set of swing doors. Now, as you can see, the tape has been cut on this. So, at least this slide piece has come off. This is a slip cover on this side with a wonderful image of Serpentor. Or, I'm sorry, Dr. Mindbender. You can tell where my mind's at. Up here we have Hasbro, Dr. Mindbender, Classified Series. Don't Choke, 4+. Up here, Cobra logo, number 43. On this side, we've got the Not a File Card card. Dr. Mindbender, Assorted Crap, number 43. The back, it just kind of, the slipcover mimics and completes the mural on the back, which you're seeing ancient bodies, Destro and Baroness. You see the bodies of a bunch of ancient rulers. So obviously this is his creation of Serpentor. Maybe that's why my mind went there. This side you just have the edge of the box. So we remove the slipcover, and we end up with the Cobra double helix on the front cover. This side it's smaller, but it's once again the Not a File card. And then it kind of mimics like a case of some sort. Like I said, same mural on the back. So let's open it up real quick. And there she is. Well, there he is. So starting from this side, we've got a couple of, looks like, not an actual blaster per se. We've got a recreation of his vintage style weapon and an upgraded version. The power pack for it. We have Dr. Mindbender in all of his purple and black glory. We've got a skull with the bandages around the eyes and an open cranium. Comes with a brain, some DNA sample vials, a severed arm, an actual blaster, and then a couple of specimen jars, I guess. So, trying to figure out the best way to remove this stuff. Because the tape is intact. Obviously, nobody has pulled the plastic. So, let's see if we can... It doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that. So, why don't we go one sleeve at a time. Pull the sleeves, get the accessories out, and then we're going to put the sleeve back in there. So, we have a recreation of his... Actually, this is different than his original vintage style. Let's start with the small blaster, shall we? And then we'll get this thing out. And slide it right back in. Why? I rarely keep boxes. I rarely do. But something like this, yeah, I'm going to hang on to. So, we've got what looks like a small, I don't know, like injection weapon. Doesn't look like a actual barrel-sized end on it. And it has what looks like a small injection canister. That's the only paint app on it, is this nice metallic silver on the top. We have a pre-bent version of this. Now there is a peg hole in there, so I don't know, maybe there's a blast effect capable. There's a peg back here for attachment to the hose. Got some nice silver paint apps on that top canister and the entire barrel assembly. Number 2. So, yeah, those there require some pressure to get out. Go ahead and put that back in there. So, we have 2 of these specimen containers. One small, one big. Now, the big one has some great sculpting along the base. Done in sort of a metallic silver, kind of a dark metallic gray maybe, with a red canopy dome. It does open up and it has a peg hole inside. The smaller one opens up as well, has a peg hole, red canopy, but then it's got a bunch of these small little holes along the outside. And then we have what looks like an actual hand blaster. It does have a port there for blast effects. Not a bad looking little sculpt, not much to it. Now, the real fun begins. Where does this thing open up at? Okay, so it also opens from the front, but it's taped on the side edges. No, it does not open from the front. This one opens from the side. So, we have a power pack for the weapon, which if you remember the original, there was like a generator that attached to the hose that attached to the weapon. Well, they made it modular this time. Carryable, I guess is a better word for it. Now this is taped. Of course it's taped. Come on, baby. Come out better from that side? Yep. Now this looks more like his classic vintage weapon. It does have a peg on the back to attach the hose. Single handhold, silver, metallic silver along the nozzle part. And that should plug into this as well. So there you have the completed weapon. Okay, now the fact that they included 2 specimen containers, but only 2 specimen jars, it seems like a loss. Now, the bandaging around the eyes is nicely painted. The rest of it's done in sort of a bone color plastic, and it does open and has a peg hole inside. Now this is where it's going to get tricky. because I do not want to pull all 4 of those out. So we have a brain. Brain is greatly detailed, nicely colored. They've got a metallic stem in there and a peg hole. So I imagine that this can, yeah, it'll peg into there and you can actually enclose it. Or take the jar, pop it into there, and you've got a brain in a jar. Nice. We have a hand. Hand has a couple of tubes running throughout it. Looks almost zombie-ish, almost Living Dead-like. It's got a nice peg there, and it will actually peg into the other jar. And then you've got these 4 little things. Now, you see the little peg there? I'm not actually going to take them out of this. See the little peg there? Those will actually fit into the peg holes on the jar, on the brain jar. But they're often easily lost. So, that being said, let's move on to Mindbender himself. So yeah, the cape does plug in through the back of the plastic there. Okay, where to begin? Well, let's begin where we always begin. So, taking a look at the head, he's got that handlebar mustache. Looks to be on there quite nicely. No real paint issues there. Eyebrows are done nicely. Eyes, really well done. And then what they did, they made this eye out larger than over here. So when they put the monocle on, it looks like the monocle has enlarged the eye. Great, great idea. Head, perfectly smooth. Nice looking. He's got these silver suspenders like he used to come with. Comes down to his belt. Suspenders are free floating on the shoulders. They attach to the belt, which is glued on the front, but it's not glued on evenly. You can see it's kicked up and angled. Attaches to the thigh holster, which also has a leg strap. Nice silver metal crotch protection, because who doesn't want their crotch protected? Back, the suspenders come down, also attached to the belt. It is glued in the back as well. See a little peg here for the power generator for the weapon. He's got purple armbands on here. Nice purple and silver forearm guards. Very ornate. I don't remember anything quite that ornate on the original, and if I'm wrong, please let me know. Black gloves, and then the black boots. These things are leather textured, semi-glossy, kind of like real leather. Silver buckles across the top of the foot there. Very nice. Then he's got the cape. And this is what I wanted to see. And yep, it's the case here too. So apparently these things sat in hot shipping containers for a while. And the color from the cape has permeated into the plastic of the shoulders. Which is a damn shame because, honestly speaking, yeah. Cape itself has sort of a vinyl look to it, although it is cloth. I think it's this material here that actually bled onto the shoulders. Lift that little hood piece up a bit. There we go. So let's check some articulation, shall we? Head is on a ball joint on top of a hinge, and the neck is articulated as well. So looking up, he looks up really well. Looks down really well. He's got a little bit of head tilt and rotation. And he will walk like an Egyptian. Arms will hinge up to 90 degrees. There is butterfly jointing in there. Arm will rotate all the way around, bicep cut for rotation. Nope, double jointed pinless elbow. Doesn't come up full range, but it does have an impressive range to it. Hands rotate, horizontal hinging on the left hand, vertical on the right. So at the waist, he's got a ball joint. Allows for a little front and back, some tilt, and rotation. He also has an ab crunch. So between the two, he can lean back that far, lean forward this far. Legs will kick out to a perfect Jean-Claude. Drop down hip. Just make sure you get it back up there. Okay, so it does seem a bit stiff, so I'm going to work it a little bit before trying to kick forward. Okay, kicked forward pretty good. Comes 90 degrees. By our thigh cut for rotation. Double jointed pinless knee. Okay, now the cape was hidden behind the plastic inside the tray. So what I'm not understanding is, where did this color smudge come from? Did the boot also bleed, or is that just a paint smudge? Regardless, good range on the knee, but it is an ugly knee joint. And this part up here is soft enough that it's not going to like snap off. Boot cut for rotation. Foot hinges back that far, forward that far, front facing pin for rocker. Now, gearing him up. So I'm going to peg this canister here onto his belt. Takes some work, but it will peg. So the cape over it, bring it up. That in his hand. Take his actual blaster. We're going to pop that down into his holster there. Beautiful fit. Holster itself, I did forget to point out, nice leather texture with silver buckle. And honestly, on the shelf, I think that's all he's going to have. So there you have them. Sorry this one took so long, but there's a lot to the figure, even just accessory-wise. So what do you say we get them up on the shelf? Okay, that actually popped off. Yeah, his little thing popped off. So what we're going to do, we're going to try rerunning it a little bit. Try to run it outside the cape. Yeah, the peg hole's awfully small on this belt. So there we go. A modified display. there he is. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all next time.